The integumentary system. Otherwise known as your skin. I'm going to start off this page. The top half, we're going to look at the functions of the integumentary system, and then on the bottom half of the page, we'll go over a little bit of the structure of a chunk of skin. So up here, you can write the functions, and we'll use this little drawing to talk about some of those. First of all, you can thank your skin for your sense of touch. And I have a little feather down here tickling this guy's little foot. You have sense of touch all over your body. It tends to be greatest in the fingers, the lips, and probably not surprising to any of you, the genitalia. A second function of the integumentary system is protection. Over here, I'm going to have to outline this. This is a shield I drew on here. I know it didn't show up very well on your paper. And what it says on the shield is pathos. Pathos means disease. So we're going to put a line through that because your skin is your very first line of defense against disease. So this is a little tricky, but draw a line up and around and down. Unbroken skin. You really can't beat it for trying to keep pathogens out of your body, which is why with a wound, of course, infection now becomes a big concern. So protection from trauma, like tearing, and pathogens. Okay, now let's look at a fun one. Temperature regulation. Another important job of the skin. When you're hot, what happens? Well, you sweat. Let's use a blue pen, put some sweat on this guy. He would be sweating from his forehead, from his armpits, all around his back. So sweat. And then what happens with sweat is that it evaporates from your skin, and as it evaporates, it takes some of the heat with it. So we call it evaporative cooling. But that's not the only way that your skin helps regulate your temperature when you're hot. It can also affect it by dilating capillaries in the skin. So over here, these are meant to be little capillaries in the skin. And they're dilating, they're really opening up. This releases heat as the blood travels near the surface of the skin. But what about the other way? If you're really cold, now the skin will usually be given information from the nervous system that will allow it to constrict capillaries in the skin. To keep you warm. I'll keep the core warm. And so, do you see this line right here? That represents, hey, look, the skin of the limbs, of the nose, of the ears, all those extremities, it's going to lose out if you are cold, and that's why frostbite can be a problem. Another reason, though, why these things might change is to regulate blood pressure. If you constrict capillaries in the skin to keep the core warm, you also can divert blood to the major organs needed in a crisis, like your heart and your skeletal muscles. This is where you might have noticed, if you go running on a cold morning, at the end of the run, you will not be cold at all. You'll be very warm. And yet, if you touch your thigh, it will feel very cold to the touch because the blood has moved away from the skin and is in the skeletal muscles and in your heart and lungs where it's needed during exercise. My phone's out of battery, so we'll pick up on this one on another video.